Hi there. Right now, you might be feeling some anxiety on and off coming. Maybe there's kind of a consistent feeling of anxiety because of what's happening in the world right now, and that's normal. There's a lot of uncertain times, and uncertainty a lot of times can feed anxious feelings. And I wanted to share with you a couple of practices that you can do when you're starting to feel that anxiety, when you notice yourself feeling anxiety, and the sooner the better. you know to try to talk yourself out of anxiety, a lot of times it's hard to do that because you're already in it. But in particular, there's three practices that I use for my own self, and it's based on the idea, a couple ideas. Number one is that there's lots of research now, explosion of research on the effectiveness of breath, of breathing, something we all are fortunate enough to do. But there are ways to use breath as a tool. And that's something that is wonderful to know, because you can do it with yourself, by yourself, when you're in a crowd of people. Hopefully, you're not in crowds right now, but you can just do it for yourself. And there's two techniques I'd like to teach you. The first one is one called box breathing. And box breathing actually is a technique that is taught as part of Navy SEAL training, so I've read, um, as a way to help to calm down the limbic system, which is the fight, flight, or freeze, especially in the face of difficulty, especially in the face of something that is really you're feeling threatened by, the body feels threatened by, because it helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. It helps to start to calm down the sympathetic nervous system. And so it looks like this: box breathing. There's four sides of a box. There's four different counts. So the first count is an inhale, and you can do it to 5. Start at 5, and then you can always move that up depending upon where you are in your own practice. So it looks like this: you inhale for 5, you hold the top 5, you exhale for 5, and hold at the bottom for 5. Good. Inhale again, 5. And when you do that, you have the choice of breathing out through your nose or your mouth. It is best to breathe in through your nose, and you might try that both ways. But again, it doesn't really matter, about the technicalities. What I'd like you to think about is really just that simple breathing technique to do for yourself when you start to feel anxious. And even if you do that for a minute in the morning, or maybe even before bed, it really makes a big difference. And you may have felt a little bit of that with yourself just now. The second technique is actually a technique I learned from Dr. Andrew Weil, who's been around for a long time. And it's the same kind of idea, but it's an inhale for 4, a holding for 7, and then an exhaling for 8. And the idea is that there's also been, in this idea of breathing, the longer exhalation really contributes to things calming down inside. And the holding really allows the body to be oxygenated. So if you really think about that, filling the lungs to 4 fairly quickly, and holding for 7, and then exhaling for 8, and then inhaling. So do you feel that as you exhale, you're really having to empty the lungs and the diaphragm, compressing the diaphragm? So another thing, when you breathe in, learning to make the belly big, and then inhaling up all the way as if you're breathing to the shoulders. Play around with that. So I'm just going to take you through both of those practices just so you can get a sampling of each of them, and then you can work them on yourself by yourself. So let's start with the box breathing, counts to 5, right? So I'm just going to talk through it and you go ahead and do it as I'm talking. So inhale for 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold at the bottom for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release, relax. Just breathe normally. I mean, even those few breaths, even for me, counting has calmed me down. Maybe you feel the same. Let's try the 4, 7, 8 together. So we're going to inhale for 4, hold for 7, then exhale for 8. Okay, so that's an inhale to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really pushing all the air out. Breathe normally, release. Just relax. You kind of got a double dose, so close your eyes for just a moment with me. And just notice, did that make any difference for you? Can you feel maybe the inside of your body a little bit more spacious, maybe a little slower? And just pause. Maybe you don't feel anything, that's okay. It's all right. Good, now open your eyes. So come back to those techniques, box breathing and the longer exhale than inhale. Those are 2. The last technique that I'd like you to think about is this idea of anxiety comes most of the time when we start to anticipate the future. And so my simple way of reframing that for yourself is, instead of thinking about what ifs, what if a family member gets the virus? What if I go out and get the virus? What if the store shut down? What if we don't have enough food? What if we don't have enough toilet paper? All these what ifs you kind of feel, right? I mean, I feel that almost immediately, this overwhelm. My mind starts to go crazy about that. But how about we shift the what if question to what is? What is? And what that means for me right now is, what is? I look around and I feel a breeze coming in the door. I'm sitting quietly in my shop. I look around and the sun is shining. I have beautiful music on in the background. My body feels comfortable. I mean, those are the things to notice. What is? So another technique, when you start to feel anxiety, because it's all the what ifs, right? It's all the borrowing problems from the future. That's what with the term that we use in my family is, are you borrowing problems from the future? So to help your mind get out of it, instead of berating yourself, because that's another thing we do, right? Oh my gosh, why are you doing that? Stop it. You don't need to do that. You can just gently ask yourself, oh, I hear myself asking what ifs. What if I just change it to what is? And that can help facilitate yourself, bring yourself back to the present moment. And then guess what? Try a breathing exercise. So just some practical ways of helping ourselves through a situation that is continuing to be uncertain. But you know what is? What is that I'm grateful to be here. And I'm grateful to be able to share with you and talk with you and connect with you. And we will get through this. This too shall pass. So from me to you, I wish you peace within and with others.